Oh, I did it. Oh, I'm Raven. Welcome to Shadow Daddy Groupies. I'm Raven.
And I'm Kelly. Today, we are talking about heavenly bodies. If I mess up this author's name, I apologize profusely. Imanierriu. 2 minute no spoiler summary. There might be some spoilers. 2 minute no spoiler summary. The Shadow Princess Alara is haunted by a prophecy. You will fall in love with the King of Stars, and it will kill you both. Her parents hide her for 25 years, locking down their kingdom and erasing all traces of the prophecy. But the King of Stars finds out and kills everyone she loves. The kingdom of Helios, their mortal enemies, kidnaps Alara to use her as a weapon to kill the King of Stars for their own agenda. Now a prisoner, she must train with the Fire and Light Prince Lorenzo. How will Alara run from fate when she's destined for a star and falling in love or falling for the fiery prince? Also,
Dun
this book has
dun
all of my favorite
dun.
tropes. Trigger
Whoa.
warnings.
Trigger warnings. I'm just going to summarize these up. Violence, war, death, blood, sexual content, power imbalance, imprisonment, and emotional trauma.
Mm. Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. I have been trying to get Raven to read this book for quite a while.
Like six
read this
months.
I read this book earlier in the year. Like, yeah, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I don't know. It was immediately a five-star read for me. But it was like one of those ones that I was really nervous for Raven to read because I loved it so much. And I am going to fall on the floor if she only rates it a 3 star. With that said, I mentioned that it has pretty much like all of my favorite
I'm
tropes.
going to
And
do a
so
quick rundown of those.
I'm going to read some of the tropes that are in this book. There is a touch her and die trope, a training her, fated soul tied, one where they go to a ball, a who did this to you moment. Um, a definitely there was a like a fuck it and then kiss moment. Uh, he gives her his crown during sex. Enemies to
No.
lovers, not wearing underwear. Uh, when he shows her his artistic soft side and when he nurses her back to health.
An
There's probably
expeditionist.
like 15 more of my favorite things. There's
Yeah.
like a tiny bit of voyeurism in there, like just a smidge.
Yeah, there's a little bit. I like
Yeah.
the threats. I like the threats he put down. He's like, if we
Mm,
don't go right now, I'm just gonna lay it out right
yeah.
now.
I love that one too.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Ugh.
So I jumped from and Amantha to the second one of that, and then straight into Heavenly Bodies. So I was like, what is happening? I was
Very
like,
different genres.
I
Extremely.
I went from hate you to flirty, and it was cute. I liked it. They grew on me. These two characters really grew on me, and I like the side characters. Um, some of it was kind of sad. It was a little sad,
You did tell me you cried.
but fuck you, Kelly, because I cried. I was like holding. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I already knew it was gonna happen. I'm not gonna cry, and I kept saying that to myself. And I was like, all right, they're fighting. This is going on. This has to happen. I know it. And then it happened, and I was like, no, don't lose it. And I lost it. And then I kept reading, and I was like, and it was funny because I was laying on my pillow, and I had to like hang my head off my pillow because I was dripping tears and I want to soak my pillow. And I was like, God damn it, Kelly. This is stupid.
Okay, so you had said that you feel like if you did a reread, you would have caught a lot more. And that is one of my favorite things about this book. Like, this is, if you love authors like Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, where there's Easter eggs all over in the book, there is a ton of that. Um, I love her writing style. She never info dumps. I feel like it's just a flawless from start to finish writing. And there's tons of little clues. And I tried to remember some of them and write them down because I have bought the second book, but I have not read it yet. I've been waiting for Raven to read it. And I didn't want to ruin anything by like reading ahead. And so I wrote down some of my theories of what might happen in the
I
second
want to
book.
hear them.
Okay, but let's go over kind of, we barely
Yeah,
even talked about
I know. Let's.
the book itself. So, Alara
Oh,
is a shadow princess. She has three powers. She can illusion, she has shadows, and she can dream walk. Her shadows are kind of locked away, and she can barely access them because of a trauma that she got when she was a child. So she's training with Enzo to learn how to fight, and also he's trying to help her unlock his shadows. He also has three powers. He can wield light, he can mind read, and he has fire. And I'm
Candy
sorry,
is
but
so
the
hot.
scene where he uses his fire on her belly when she's on her period to help ease her cramps, I was like, okay, he is my favorite MMC of all time.
Yes, I was like, wow, what a gentleman.
What a gentleman.
Oh my God. I didn't think she was on her monthly. I thought she was just using that as an excuse because she was hungover. But I was like, wow, come on. Come on,
And then
daddy.
he uses it again while he's fingering her. That was kind of hot too.
Yeah, I tried to picture that.
Ugh. Anyway, okay. So you've got Alara, you've got Enzo. They are enemies for multiple reasons. So her prophecy made her parents lock down her kingdom. They're the kingdom of night and dark and shadows. And the reason they locked it down after the prophecy is because it says that she's going to die, right? And the person who gave the prophecy, which you don't know until towards like the middle or end of the book, is his mother. And they killed his mother to try and get the prophecy from leaving and the star finding out. So he hates her and her kingdom, and obviously his father hates her kingdom because they killed his wife and Enzo's mother.
Yeah.
Um, well, they quickly realize there's like some connection between them. They try to fight it. It's amazing. And but
Mm.
he's a little slut. And he's very flirty. The
He's
flirting, the
he's
yearning.
Yeah, but when I like the beginning whenever she had to go have the dinner and she sat next to him and that girl was in his lap. And
And
I
he
was
just like
like,
shoves her out of his lap and he's like, hey.
I I was like, yes, this is what I like, okay? Give me some of that.
I think he does that at least twice where he like shoves women out of the way and he's like, oh, hey.
Yeah, they had to act it out at um the name's not happening. But it's like Iridijo or Iridia or uh,
Aphrodea.
Aphrodisia. Aphrodisia.
Aphrodea. I
I
did the audiobook. Oh, by the way, I don't I didn't write down the name of the audio book voice actress, but if you are into um audiobooks, I think she did a fantastic job. Like 5 star. I could barely tell that it was one person voicing all of the voices. She had the perfect Enzo voice. I don't know how she did it, but it was amazing. Um anyway, like perfect growly voice. And
go girl.
she did such a good job. I love her voice.
Okay.
What else? Oh, how did
I
you love the dancing scene where she danced for him?
I
So
what
hot,
I was
right?
like in my mind I'm thinking, girl, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's all I kept thinking. I was like, but I was getting mad as well. I was getting jealous whenever those other girls were there. I was like, oh hell no.
Well, okay, so there is her two friends. Well, one of them is his friend that he grew up with. It's basically his sister, and Isra, and then her handmaid, Marissa. They're there and they're egging her on. And Isra turns to her and she's like, chill out because there's other girls dancing with it on him.
Mhm.
And she's like, please chill out right now. You're about to explode your shadows.
Yeah.
I love that his friends were like, we kind of like her more than you. Like the time that Isra just like shut the door in his face and she's like, oh, come over for tea. And then like
Yeah.
slammed the door in his face, like, eh.
Yeah. There was a couple of things that I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. I'm glad it played out like that. Oh, and like whenever the god was like, do not give the prince the blade. And I was like, this bitch just gave the prince the blade. I, she, oh, come on. I was like, man, that's at least she was a smart female character in this book. She wasn't really ditzy. And then I was like, I'm taking back a lot of what I was thinking because she just, here, have it.
Here's the blade. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to say that Alara is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, female main characters that I've read this year. Um, I loved her. I loved that she was sassy. I loved that she cussed all the time. I know people aren't really that into cussing, but I thought it was hilarious. I thought she was
Yes,
feisty.
she drops some pretty harsh,
She
vulgar
she drops
sentences.
a she drops a couple F-bombs. I think she drops a C-bomb at one point, calls him a cunt.
Yes, she does. That was so. That's when you said that. I was like, that's the one thing that stuck to my head was when she was like, "You cunt."
Calls him a bastard a couple of times. Like she has a little bit of a spicy mouth, and Leo, who is his best friend and the general, and Enzo say a few times. They're like, "Can you stop cussing?"
It's not right for a princess. It's not
Princess
polite.
like.
Ooh, fuck you.
Oh, that's a good point. So that the blade brings me back to some of my theories. So Alara has a best friend growing up. Her name is Sophia. And
Mhm.
Sophia, for barely being in the book, is a huge character. She talks about Sophia all the time. She makes some stupid decisions to try to save Sophia. And I don't know about you, but I'm not sure Sophia's really dead. I I get weird vibes from Sophia. The fact that Sophia hates her betrothed and is constantly trying to break them up, um, I feel like there's something weird there. The dynamic between
Oh,
Alara, her betrothed, and Sophia
okay.
seems really off to me.
So I have some things that I wanted to clear up with you because you probably know this down to a T.
I read the book like five
Okay,
times.
all right. Well, all right. So we don't know what was the betrothed's name.
You know what? I totally forgot to
It
write
starts with
down
a
his name.
Z. Starts with a Z, but he's still alive, right? They
Well,
took
okay,
him, but where
they
is he?
don't they don't really say if he's alive or dead. So when Enzo goes and saves Alara, he brings her betrothed, who I'm totally spacing on right now, carves into his skin something that he called Alara. He called her a light whore. So Enzo
Yeah.
carves light whore into his skin with his light and then throws him in the water and leaves him there.
I thought he
And
picked him
so
up and put him back in the boat.
no, he never made it in the boat. They leave him in the water, just floating there. And then the next time he's mentioned, which I think is like the last time he's mentioned, they just say that he's disappeared.
Hmm.
So they don't
I
say they
remember
recovered
that.
his body.
Um,
Now, my theory is that the reason that he went crazy is because he is being controlled by the goddess Gem. Because they mention over and over again that Jim is like spite, trickery, and can control people. And later in the book, she does control some of those other characters. She turns into Lorenzo, right?
mhm.
And then she's like kind of so I think that her betrothed because he gets really confused. He keeps saying, I didn't do that to you. No, I don't feel that way. No, I love you. I would never do that to you. I didn't call him. I didn't call the King of Stars. And she's like, yes, you did. And he's like, no, I didn't. And there's like times where he seems like really fuzzy, and then times where he's like really mean and spiteful, and then he
Yeah.
goes back to confused. So I think he's being controlled by Jem. And I'm not sure if he's dead or not. They just say that he disappeared.
Um, Another thing I wanted to point out. Um, so in the boat when the sirens were there and they said that they can't their song has no effect on them because they're in love. But
Hmm.
yet they still took Lorenzo. Why?
I th I think that it was maybe a plot device to show how connected her and Lorenzo were, because she jumps in the water to
Yeah.
try to save him. She's like, fuck no, you're not allowed to take him. I hate him, and only I'm allowed to hate him. You can't have him. And so she jumps in the water, and when she's forced with basically his death, that's when her silver
Explodes.
light
Yeah.
comes out. And then later after that, he says, because that's like the second time maybe that power has come out.
That was the first. And then it happened again. Um,
So earlier in the book, like the very first time that Enzo and her train, he's like really being mean to her. And she's like, just had it. And she creates an illusion, but that illusion becomes a physical manifestation and cuts him. And she says, that's the first time that my illusion has ever looked like this. And she mentions the color silver. And she says, my illusions have never been become physical
mhm.
and been able to hurt someone like that. And so that I think was the first time the silver light came out. The second time was when she was with the sirens and explodes out of her, and she saves Lorenzo. Um, and then was there a third time that the silver light came out?
I don't probably towards the end whenever she was
Okay.
fighting um Arity
No,
Parker.
Ariette. That's how you say it,
Oh,
Ariette.
cool. Look at me go. Um, okay. And then there's other things that I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
Okay.
let me go back to Sophia real quick.
Okay.
So the other thing that was dropped in very quickly was when he says, "How did you train with a dagger? Who taught you?" And she says, "Sophia's mom taught me. She was our general, but she died mysteriously. She When they found her, it looked like she was terrified to death. They blamed it on like a heart
Hmm.
condition or something, but she was found and her face was of terror."
Hmm.
Now, the only other time that they talk about like being terrified is when Alara uses her illusions to like terrify people. And I'm wondering if Alara accidentally or somehow like killed Sophia's mom, and Sophia has been holding it against her, and Sophia's the one that's been betraying her, not her betrothed.
Hmm.
Because I think something weird happened with Sophia's mom, and there's like some sort of cover up. So that's my theory.
But it was a lot. It was Alara that was saying that when she saw her face, it looked like she had been terrified.
To death, yeah.
I don't think I don't think that Alara did, but I do think that it would make sense that
If
Sophia,
someone maybe had killed Sophia's mom and Sophia blames.
yeah,
Ugh,
I
hold on.
definitely,
Can we pause? I have an emergency.
hmm.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Great.
All
Okay.
right, I
So,
unpaused that. We're good.
okay, your turn.
There's so much
Oh,
that happened. The spice was cute. It was nice. Like
okay.
it wasn't a
I know.
lot, but it
Okay, I
was.
know that you like more
Mhm.
spice, but this to me was the perfect amount of spice. There was a
Mhm.
lot of like tension, there was a lot of buildup. It wasn't overly
Over. Yeah.
descriptive, but it to me it was like just the right amount of
It
this
was
is
it was
how I
written.
like my spice.
It was written very well. I was very the writing to me. I like the book. I like the book. I'll give it a 4. But the writing to me, when I asked you if it was YA, the writing a little bit seemed a little, in my opinion, YA. And I don't know if that's because I just jumped out of one writing style to the next. And I'm,
Mm.
because remember, I was doing that first person, third person. God, that was a mess. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is pretty. It was a quick read, and but the spice, I was like, that's not YA. That ain't YA. Ooh, that is not a YA thing. I was not.
Um, could you expand what you mean by the writing was YA?
Um, I just from books that I've read that are YA kind of, uh, like, I don't know.
Hmm.
It wasn't. I guess maybe because the book before that was like really overly articulate and
Mm.
onomatopoeia. But no, I this one just felt like it was just like cut paste. Like I don't know, and also whenever it was like going back and forth between the two people, like when the people were discussing something, I don't feel like it was. I did like that. I like the fact that when they were going back and forth between each person, it wasn't like specified every single time who's talking. I mean, if you have
Hmm.
common sense and you can read, it was kind of just flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and maybe I didn't really get catch that because I was doing the audiobook and so it was easy to tell who was talking because there's different voices.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I loved the writing. I thought the pacing was really
Mhm.
it had like a good pace. I don't never really felt like it lulled except for maybe when she was captured by Ariette and I was like, okay, I'm ready for her to like get to the escape montage or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
Um yeah, I don't know.
I had a,
Um
I had a lot of,
but
I had a
I
lot of
didn't because I didn't
theories.
read it. I listened to it. Maybe that was like where the difference was.
Definitely reading it, in comparison to, I usually don't jump books that fast. So that's also probably why I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a quick turnover, but it was a good one.
And
Yeah.
Carrie Lake does have a little bit more of a flowery writing style, not super flowery, but have you read Road of Bones
No.
or
No.
In the Vein of the Drowning?
Uh,
They're very flowery. Carrie Lake is not that flowery, but she's a little bit more. So I could see
mhm.
how, yeah, that it's
Carrie
definitely
Lake's very
different.
gothic too. She's very dark.
Oh yeah, that whole series is super like horror gothic. Like,
And
yeah,
you
it's
know what?
very different vibe.
And
And
that
this is more this this is like a magical system that I would say is like in the same vein as like a Sarah J. Maas magic system,
mhm.
where there's like different layers and different types of magical creatures or whatever. But with that said, it's not fae, it's like humans and gods and demigods and
Mhm.
like that kind of thing. It's more like Greek mythology, I think, is what Goodreads says. It has like a very like Greek mythology with a kind of Middle Eastern twist to it. Um, Imani
I
makes a lot of references that are very more like Middle Eastern. I'm trying to think of an example, but yeah, it definitely has like kind of this like little twist. So it's like Greek mythology like meets the Middle East. I really liked it.
it was definitely a world build for me. I was like the way I was like picturing it was different. It was very different because the kingdoms are just like right next to each other, and I
Yeah,
feel like
the
there's like
kingdoms are like literally right next to each other. You cross the border and it's like dark night, day, night,
yeah.
day. And that
I
was really
pictured a
interesting.
color wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. Uses colors a lot. She uses colors a lot. She talks about different colors and they I think they have a lot. they help with the imagery, but they also kind of have
I
like
was
symbolism is the word I'm looking for. Like the colors have
I
symbolism
was
to them.
overstimulated.
You were overstimulated. I don't know. I
Yeah.
loved the colors. Like when they went to Aphrodite and there was pink clouds and he goes,
Yeah.
"You can touch the clouds." And she like picks a cloud out and she eats it and it's like cotton candy. I thought that was really fun.
I was not fond of that part. Uh, I was
Okay.
like, oh wow, we just went from like, now we're eating. Reading Rainbow is what I thought about with that.
I thought it was really cool and I definitely have um borrowed a lot of stuff from this book and when I was like writing my own story of like the idea that there's like a kingdom where the sun basically never goes away, never sets. And then there's like this kingdom where the sun really never rises. So it's always like dusk or dark. And it's always, dawn or light. I don't know. I loved that. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, so I want to talk about some
Okay.
highlights of the book
I'm
really quick.
sorry. One more time. My dogs are like really having a field day because their water dish is not full.
Play. Anyways, we're back.
We're back.
I do want to talk about like a few little moments that I really liked.
Okay. Go.
Um, when he jumped off the cliff, I was
After
like,
her.
oh man. I was like, that's it. This is love. A lot of the time I was thinking that like the Prince of Stars falling in love with her and dying and all this stuff. I was like, well,
Me
maybe it's
too.
like his dad is gonna die and then but I was like, well, his dad's not really in love with her. And I was like, maybe there's something else, something crazy is gonna happen, and
Oh,
that's why I
yes.
was like completely my heart ripped out. And another scene, there's another scene I wanted to
When
talk
I
about.
was reading it, my theory was that Enzo was going to kill the King of Stars and then become him or
That's what I
something.
thought.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry. She can't fall in love with the King of Stars. She has to be with Enzo. And I'm like trying to, in my head, figure out how they can be together. I was like, and
Hmm.
so the plot twist, I did not see that coming. But I was like, the whole time I'm trying to rationalize how Enzo and her can get together. I was like, no, she has to be with him.
Yeah. Some of the stuff at the end kind of confused me where she was like the whole, I don't even know how to explain it. Like once they were talking to the Celestes or whatever, um,
Celestials.
yeah, right before they went to the castle and all that happened, that was really that part had me going.
I feel
Um,
like the last bit was a little bit rushed.
I I was like, well, how is she doing this? Like, how is she, like, is she the Almighty? Like, I was so confused about that part. I was like, well, how is she requesting him back? And then the
Okay.
killing of I I was just that last part, I was so all over the place.
Okay, this is what I think is going on. So there are the humans, and then there are the stars. And they go into the temple at one point, and Enzo shows her like this mural or whatever. And he goes, there's all these other symbols on here that we don't really understand what they are.
Hmm.
And then one of the mythos basically like comes alive in this form of a marble statue. And she goes, great, you finally kind of figured it out. There was another layer, but beyond the stars, that was like greater than the stars, that created everything, called the Celestials. And then what happened was the stars basically betrayed the Celestials and like took away their immortality or killed them or something. And now they're, at least the sun and the moon are living inside human bodies, and they can't like break their curse until they find each other. And so you've been like reincarnating over and over again trying to find each other.
Okay. I know, and I
And
know about the dream thing that
yeah,
happened. Yeah.
so um when Enzo dies, not I might be getting this slightly wrong. Basically, she like taps into the part of him that is the sun, and so like that part of him is still alive. And then so she like brings him back for like a
He gave
second.
her his light.
Okay,
That's what it
yeah, he
was.
gave her his light, so like he didn't truly die. Like part of his soul is still alive or whatever, and that's how she was able to revive him, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how that worked. I just know that he had a low pulse and then she shoved their mixed magic into him and then that's when he came in to his body for a second and then that's when he was whisked away and now he's in the
Yeah.
dreamscape. Now we got to
Yeah,
get him
so
out.
yeah, okay, yeah. So he like made it. He like died almost, then he made it, and then
Now he's just on
Ariette like
hospice.
yeah, Ariette was like, "Oh no, you don't." And then like severed his ties. So now he's kind of in this limbo dream
She'll find him.
slash deadlands, and she's like has to try to find him. So he's in a coma basically at this
She's going
point.
to be sleeping a lot. Drug
She,
me. Drug me.
I loved
Please.
her dream walking.
I know.
I
I
thought it
that was
was
probably one
fun.
of my favorite little parts about this.
Yeah.
But it was a good read, Kelly. Now I have to read the freaking second book.
Okay. The other thing I want to mention too, one of my other theories is that they mentioned that Ariette, the King of Stars, has fangs and he keeps biting her when she's a prisoner and poisons her. So
Yes.
I'm wondering, so there's the humans, right? Then there's the stars and then there's the celestials. And
Hmm.
so at one point the stars and the celestials had a war, right? And
Yeah.
the celestials basically lost. And now the stars have like changed history to basically say, "Oh, we created the world and we're your leaders." But most of them don't have magic that they show the humans. They mention this like at least twice. So I think it's important that they have divinitas, which means that
Hmm.
they can like kill you and like make you explode. But like Leon is the patron god of Helion. He's supposed to have the power of light,
Hmm.
like
And nothing.
Lorenzo does, and he never shows it.
Hmm.
Also, so there's a lot of other gods that don't ever really show their power and or stars rather. There's a
So,
lot of stars that don't show their power, but there's also some missing stars. So the patron goddess of Alara's kingdom is missing. Like they say like she disappeared. They don't know where she is.
hmm.
And there's a few times where Alara has contact with a star, but they never mention who that star is. They just say, oh, they were wearing a pinstripe suit, or she caught a
Hmm.
flash of their hair, or whatever. But they don't actually say who the star was, or after, sometimes afterwards, they say, oh, that was the star, blah, blah, blah. And so there's all these times where the stars kind of interact with her,
It
but
deserves a
don't
second read.
yeah, but don't really, and this is something that after I read it 5 times, I started to catch. They kind of interact with her, but they don't like directly interact with her.
Hmm.
And one of the stars says, yeah, not all of us want Ariette to be our king. We want what we used to have, but they don't really say what that means. Like they can't tell her
Hmm.
directly what that was until the mythos comes up and says, hey, by the way, you are the queen and he is the king. You are the moon and he is the sun. And you guys basically used to rule the universe together until the stars, Ariette specifically, went to war with you. So there's like definitely some sort of war thing that's going to happen in the second book.
Oh man, she's holding down the forts. Love it. I love it. I love it. But
Okay, I've been
let's
talking forever because I love
let's
this
land
book.
this. Let's land this. It's gonna be I'm probably not gonna do much editing to this because I it's different when I have to put on Spotify. But thank you for coming to our TED Talk. Have a great
Yeah,
day.
I definitely recommend this book. Please go out and read it. It's amazing. I don't know why it's not more popular. I guess it does say like on her website that it's like a TikTok famous book, but it is very good. If you are into romantasy,
Read it and then watch
read it.
this or listen to this. Then you'll
Lots of
understand.
spoilers. I'm gonna probably go immediately to the second book today.
All right. Bye.
Bye.